For all of your coin buying and selling needs, head over to onestopmut.com and use code EDGY for 10% off. What's up, guys? Edgy here bringing another video, and today we are back on way too early record predictions, Madden 21 team previews. So just a little note for everybody who's new. These team previews, I am using Madden 20 updated rosters. Somebody made them, so they're not going to be 100% accurate for the ratings in Madden 21. I just don't want to go into the beta and use those rosters because you can get in trouble for recording beta footage. So in today's video, we're going over the AFC South. So I'm giving my record predictions for each team, kind of like a breakout player or a player I think is going to bounce back if he's had a couple down years or whatever. I'm going over each team. I'm going to start with who I think is going to be the top team in the division, and then I'm working my way down. So for the AFC South, this one's a little bit of a surprise, but it could still go either way. But for the favorite in this division, I got the Indianapolis Colts. I think they have the best offensive line in the league. They improved at quarterback. They added Phillip Rivers. Jacoby Brissett didn't do as great as people were expecting after Andrew Luck retired. But Phillip Rivers, I think he still has a little bit left in the tank, and this is going to be the best line he's ever played behind. Not to mention, they have two ridiculously good running backs in Marlon Mack, Jonathan Taylor. Nyheim Hines is pretty good as well, but I think Jonathan Taylor, Marlon Mack, they're going to split carries. They're both going to have very good seasons. Marlon Mack, I believe, was leading the league in rushing until he got hurt last year. And then when he came back, he kind of dropped off just a little bit. But he's still going to be very, very good now that he's going to be healthy. Roosevelt next, they did add a fullback. Wide receiver, T.Y. Hilton, Zach Pascal. T.Y. Hilton, everyone knows when he's healthy, he's one of the best receivers in the league. Zach Pascal had a decent season last year, made a couple big plays. They drafted Michael Pittman in the second round, who I think is going to start over Zach Pascal. And I think he's going to be very, very good. Realistically, though, Zach Pascal's probably going to see the field a lot also. T.Y. Hilton primarily plays the slot, so Pascal and Pittman will probably be outside with T.Y. in the slot. They still have Paris Campbell also. Didn't have a crazy rookie year, but I still think he could be very good as well. He's a burner. Tight end, they have Jack Doyle still. They've had him for a long time. He's always been very reliable, very good blocker. They added Trey Burton after losing Eric Ebron. Trey Burton had a couple down years, but he was very good with the Eagles, so if he can bounce back, that'll be huge for them. Offensive line, like I said, best in the league. It's not close. Anthony Costanzo, left tackle. Quentin Nelson, best offensive lineman in the league, hands down. I'm not going to argue with you. Left guard. Ryan Kelly at center. Mark Glowinski at right guard. I don't think his overall is accurate. I think he's a lot better than that. I think he should be about an 80. Braden Smith at right tackle. Also think he's rated too low. I think he's one of the better right tackles in the league. Left end, Kamiko Dure, not bad. Justin Houston still performing at a pretty high level, despite being really old. They added DeForest Buckner. They did trade a first-round pick for him, but in my opinion, it was worth it. It filled a huge need on their team and made their defense just that much better. They're a very young team for the most part. I think DeForest Buckner is definitely a top 5 defensive tackle. You could argue top 3. But I think that's going to completely transform the D-line and just make it easier for everybody else. They have Darius Leonard. I don't know why he's only an 85. I think he should be at least a 90. Anthony Walker, also very good linebacker, and his rating is low also. My buddy is a Colts fan, and he always murders me for pronouncing this guy's name, but Bobby Okereke, I believe is how you say it. He showed flashes, but let's see what he can do. He's probably going to get a little bit more playing time now. Outside linebacker, I don't know much about these guys. I believe Walker plays middle, and I know they drafted Jordan Glasgow too. I forgot about him. I think Okereke or Walker, one of them plays outside, I think. I'm not positive, though. Kenny Moore, very good young corner. They also added Xavier Rhodes, who's had a couple down years, but we know early in his career he was one of the best corners in the league. If he can bounce back, this secondary will be very, very good. Rocky Sin had a pretty good rookie year. They added TJ Carey as well, who's kind of had a rocky career. He'll have some ups and downs. Very good corner group, though, in my opinion. I think Xavier Rhodes can get it back on track. They'll be very, very good secondary. Malik Hooker, very, very good free safety. I keep saying very, very good. I'm not sure why. But Malik Hooker, Think he's a really good young safety. I know that they were talking about trading him in the offseason. Not sure why. I think he's coming into a contract year, or he's going to be next year. I don't know if that has something to do with it, but he's made some huge plays for him. I think he's going to continue to do that. They also added, they signed Tavon Wilson. This roster, I haven't updated it in like a week or two, so everything might not be 100% accurate, but I know they added Tavon Wilson, who a few years ago he had a really good year for the Lions, so I don't know if he'll start over Kahari Willis, but I guess we'll have to wait and see. But that's another safety piece for him as well. I forgot to go over their breakout player. Let me go back to that. I have, let's see, at the running back position, I talked about him, but I didn't go over the breakout player. I think it's going to be Jonathan Taylor. Marlon Mack, like I said, was having a really good year last year up until the injury. I think Jonathan Taylor, very, very good. I think he was the best running back in this draft class, personally. I was surprised that there was people taken before him. Very fast, very physical. He did have a little bit of a fumbling problem, but other than that, he's a monster at running back. He's like 230 and runs like a 4.39 or something like that. Very fast, power. He's got everything you want in a running back. I think him and Marlon Mack as a 1-2 punch is going to really let him eat, kind of a change of pace guy. But it'll be interesting to see who gets the majority of the carries. But I think it's going to be pretty close, split down the middle, and I think they're both going to have very good years. I'm going to move on to the next team, who's the second in the division, I believe, in the Tennessee Titans. All right, guys, so we're on the Tennessee Titans. I believe they're going to be neck and neck with the Colts. It can go either way. I got them going 10-6. The Colts going 11-5. But it definitely could be flipped. I think the Titans, they just lost Tajay Sharp. They lost Logan Ryan. They lost a couple players. They traded Jarrell Casey. So I don't think they're going to be quite as good as they were last year, but I still think they're going to be a very good team. Ryan Tannehill, everyone knows he had a great year last year. People talk about Derrick Henry, but Derrick Henry's success didn't start until Tannehill took over at quarterback. No one was scared of the Titans throwing the ball until Tannehill took over. So Derrick Henry wasn't producing the same way until they were actually able to take those deep shots and really open up the run game more. Marcus Mariota wasn't getting the job done. A.J. Brown, phenomenal rookie year. Very good receiver. I think he's going to be very, very good for a long time. Corey Davis, they drafted him with high expectations. He hasn't really produced yet, but he is still young. Something can happen. Khalif Raymond, he's a burner. He made a couple big plays last year. I know he had a big touchdown reception in the playoffs. Adam Humphries is who I have for their breakout player. I noticed last year he had a lot of like clutch third down receptions and just big plays in crucial situations. And I know from watching Tannehill with the Dolphins, Tannehill loves to throw to a slot receiver. Adam Humphries plays the slot very well. Runs good routes. Not the fastest guy, but he gets open. So I'm expecting him to have a big year, especially with Tajay Sharp gone. I think he's going to get a little bit more targets. I think he'll have a big year. A.J. Brown's going to be the number one, obviously. Khalif Raymond's probably going to be that just big play guy. But I think Adam Humphries is going to get a lot of receptions, eating underneath, catching the ball in traffic, just getting separation with route running, not necessarily speed. Tight end, Jonnu Smith, had a pretty good year last year. I think he's going to be a little bit better this year. He's young, he's fast, he can block. Offensive line, they added Roger Saffold, who was a big pickup. They did lose, what's his name? Their right tackle. Can't think of his name. They did lose Jack Conklin. I was drawing a blank on his name, so I had to cut and go look. I could not think of his name for some reason, but they lost Jack Conklin. They did draft Isaiah Wilson at right tackle. Not sure if he'll be able to fill his shoes right away because Jack Conklin, I believe, was one of their best offensive linemen. But nonetheless, very good offensive line. Defensively, like I said, they traded away Jarrell Casey, longtime Titan. He's been one of the staples of their defense for a long period of time. Jeffrey Simmons had a really good rookie year. He's going to kind of fill that void, I think. They have Jack Crawford, who's hit or miss. Daquan Jones, pretty good run stuffer. They added Vic Beasley. They have Kamalai Correa. They're both pretty good pass rushers. Vic Beasley's had a couple down years, so it'll be interesting to see if he bounces back. Middle linebacker, Jayon Brown and Rashaan Evans. I really like both of these guys, especially Rashaan Evans. He just makes big plays. Harold Landry had a really good year last year. So they have a pretty good linebacking core. Cornerback, they added Jonathan Joseph. So they lost Logan Ryan. They added another veteran guy. I don't know if Jonathan Joseph is as good as Logan Ryan was last year, because I think Logan Ryan had a really good year. But Adoree Jackson, I really like him. Very fast corner, plays good coverage. He's a return man also, kind of like a younger Patrick Peterson. Maybe not as good, but similar type of player. They still have Malcolm Butler. They added Christian Fulton, who's very, very good. So their cornerback group should be solid. Kevin Byard, one of the best free safeties in the league. Kenny Vaccaro kind of revitalized his career with them. Had a pretty good year at strong safety. Be interesting to see if he still continues to play at a high level. But I've got the Titans going 10-6, like I said. And, you know, if things fall into place, they could go 11-5 and take the division. It's 50-50 for me. I'll move on to the next team in this division, who is the Houston Texans. All right, guys. So the Houston Texans, everyone knows they lost DeAndre Hopkins, who was their best player, hands down. Deshaun Watson, very good young quarterback. Nothing against him. I just don't think their offense is going to be the same without Hopkins. I think their run game will be a little bit better this year. For their breakout player, I got David Johnson. Not necessarily that I think he's going to completely tear it up. I just think he's going to kind of bounce back after having a couple down years with injury and whatnot. I think with DeAndre Hopkins gone, they're going to rely on the running backs a lot more. They're going to throw to David Johnson a lot. He is very good at catching out of the backfield. Duke Johnson, pretty solid also. Fullback, don't really care about that too much. But wide receiver, so they got Brandon Cooks. I don't think Brandon Cooks is going to be their number one personally. He's too injury prone. He always gets concussions. This guy always seems to get lit up and just knocked out. I don't know why, what it is, but this man always gets concussions. Will Fuller, same thing. He's a good young receiver, but the thing is he's always hurt. Every year he misses at least a couple games. They also added Randall Cobb, but for me, their best receiver is going to be Kenny Stills. Good route runner. He can burn. I think he's going to be their most reliable receiver. Brandon Cooks and Will Fuller have a couple big games when they're healthy. Randall Cobb, he still has something left in the tank. He had a pretty good year with Dallas last year. But yeah, I think Kenny Stills is going to be their best receiver production-wise. But they're going to drop off because no DeAndre Hopkins. They don't really have a guy people are going to double. So it's going to be a little bit different for Deshaun Watson this year. Tight end, Darren Fells is all right. Jordan Akins is decent. Offensive line, Laramie Tunsil, one of the best tackles in the league. The rest of their offensive line is questionable. Zach Fulton's pretty good, but Titus Howard, I don't think had a very good year last year. J.J. Watt hasn't been producing at the level he used to, but he's still one of the best defensive linemen in the NFL. Even though he's getting older, he's still a force to be reckoned with. I don't know anything about the right end. Ross Blacklock, I believe that was one of their early draft picks. I've heard good things about him. Brendan Scarlett had a couple big games last year for him. Bernardrick McKinney and Zach Cunningham, pretty good linebacker pair. Whitney Merciless is probably their best pass rusher besides J.J. Watt. So he'll probably have a good season again as well. He normally gets double-digit sacks. Cornerback, they lost longtime corner Jonathan Joseph. Not sure how that's going to work with Garyon Conley, Vernon Hargraves taking over. Bradley Roby had a pretty good year for him last year. Justin Reed, free safety, very, very good young safety. Really like this guy. He flies around the field. He can lay the boom. He can cover. Don't know much about Jalen Watkins. Michael Thomas is a special teams ace. But yeah, I think the Texans are going to go 8-8. I still think they'll be a good team. You know, they'll have some big games. Deshaun Watson will make some stuff happen. You guys know he makes freakish plays sometimes, like the one in the playoffs where he got sandwiched and somehow managed to stay on his feet and throw a dot. But I just think without DeAndre Hopkins, they don't have any receivers going to draw double teams, so it's not going to really open up the field as much for the other guys. So I got them going 8-8. I think, you know, in another year they add a couple more pieces, build the line a little bit better. I think they'll be, you know, close to the top of the division again, competing for that, going 10-6 around there. But the last team in the division is the Jacksonville Jaguars. I'm going to go ahead and head over there. All right, guys, the Jacksonville Jaguars. I feel like they're tanking. I don't know if they're tanking for a quarterback. I don't think they are. Gardner Minshew did pretty good as a rookie for being a 5th or 6th round draft pick. Leonard Fournette, good running back. He's got to stay healthy. They added Chris Thompson also. Wide receiver, this is probably their best group on the entire team. DJ Chark had a huge year last year. D.D. Westbrook, Chris Conley, Keelan Cole. They added Laviska Shenault, who is a sleeper in my opinion. They have a very good receiving core. They also added Tyler Eifert, who in my opinion is going to be their breakout player. This dude was becoming one of the best tight ends in the league early in his career. He just got the injury bug, and it kind of never stopped. If this dude can stay healthy, he's still pretty young. He can still bounce back. I think he can have a very good year, especially considering their receiving core is so deep. Should open it up for the tight end a little bit. They have so many weapons on the outside. Minshew, I think, is going to be pretty solid. Offensive line is pretty solid. Jawan Taylor, I think, is rated a little low. I think he had a pretty good year last year. Josh Allen, Yannick Ngakoue, who's still questionable to get traded. They drafted Chasen. He's supposed to be a good pass rusher. D tackle, nothing crazy. Al Woods is pretty good. Miles Jack, very good young linebacker. Joe Schubert, they got from the Browns. That was probably their biggest free agency signing. Don't know too much about these guys. Cornerback, they traded Jalen Ramsey last year. AJ Boye is gone. I don't know how these guys are going to do. I know they drafted CJ Henderson, so he's probably going to start right away. DJ Hayden, I think, is all right. I don't think he's crazy good. And Rashaan Melvin was pretty good when he was younger. I don't think he had a very good year with the Lions last year, but he's been on a lot of teams. That'll be interesting to see. Safety, I don't think they have very good safeties. Ronnie Harrison's a hitter. Other than that, I don't know too much about him. But yeah, I got the Jaguars going 3-13. I just think their division is going to be really good. I don't see them winning more than one division game. And, you know, they lost Calais Campbell. They lost Jalen Ramsey, AJ Boye. Like, their team, I feel like they're just setting up to tank. They want somebody. I don't know if it's Trevor Lawrence. I don't know, you know, what they're going for, but I just don't think they're going to be very good this year. I think they're kind of tanking and, you know, hoping for that top 5 pick so they can, you know, kind of rebuild. Yannick Ngakoue, I'm sure, is probably going to be traded at some point. I don't really see them getting the contract extension going, even though he did just fire his agent and sign a new one. But anyways, guys, that's going to conclude this video. Like I say in every video, these are just my opinions. I'm not an expert. All of these records aren't going to be 100% accurate. All these breakout players aren't going to be 100% accurate. These are my opinions. So if you disagree, you know, you don't got to roast me in the comments. You don't got to be mad. It's just an opinion. You know, everyone has them. But anyways, guys, I hope you enjoyed the video. If you did, please make sure to smack that like button. Hit that sub button if you're new. Turn notifications on. As always, everyone have a great day. I'm out.